Do you know that you're such a loser? I mean, you are already 42 years old. You don't have any kids, and you're not even married. You're a total failure. I mean, don't you still live at your home with our parents? I can't believe that you're the older sister, and yet, compared to me, younger sister, you're a complete loser. All you do is stay at all home all day and live off our parents' hard-earned money while you don't contribute anything at all. How can you even live with yourself when that's your life? Don't you think that that's just totally pathetic? You really are useless, you know that.
Joanne, it had been so long since I last heard from you that I was beginning to hope that you had finally given up on ever wanting to talk to me again. But I guess you were just waiting to come at me with a whole slew of new insults, weren't you? I guess I can't really say that I'm surprised at you for doing this, though. But it's okay, because that means that I can't say that I didn't see it coming either. So if this is all you have to say to me, I hope we can make this quick.
Aw, poor little loser. Did you really think that you could get rid of me that easily? You think that just because you're single that your little sister would forget all about you? Don't you worry. I was thinking for so long about how sad and lonely and pathetic you must feel about yourself all the time. Not only that, but unlike you, I've been very, very busy raising my children, something that you are never, ever going to have to do in a million years because you can't have kids.
Is that what you've been busy with? Well, I guess you deserved this little break to insult me then, didn't you?
Even through text, I can almost see you shaking with rage as you type the last message. You make it way too easy to get under your skin. Do you know that?
No, it's not that. It's just that I really don't have time to waste on you if all you're going to do is talk down to me.
Well, then don't you worry, because that isn't the only thing that I wanted to talk to you about. The thing is that my family and I are thinking of moving back into my parents' house. So what do you think about that, huh?
Hold on a second. All of you are going to come and live here again? Why? What happened to bring this on all of a sudden? Do you seriously think that you can just show up at the house unannounced and move in because you say so? Because that is not how that is going to work. Do you understand me?
Oh, come on now. You make it sound like I'm being some kind of completely unreasonable monster for something like that. The truth is that I'm actually about to have my 5th child. Pretty amazing, don't you think? Do you even know anyone who has 5 kids? I seriously doubt it. It's almost ironic, isn't it? I get all the kids while you get none. Sometimes the universe just likes to play cruel little jokes on the losers in this world, huh? But anyways, I'm telling you this so that you know that it's time for you to pack up your bags and leave now.
Oh, well, congratulations on the 5th child then. I guess some kind of celebration should be in order or something, right? And your husband must be happy since this is the first child that you're having with him. Isn't that right?
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? It's fine. You don't have to answer that. It's clear that you're just jealous and trying to rain on my parade is all.
And aren't I allowed to do that after the way that you've treated me over the years? Why are you the only one that gets to insult me? Besides, you're the one who thinks that you can kick me out of the house just because you're having another child.
Well, that's exactly right. This is going to be my 5th child, so it's important that my husband and I have enough space for everyone to run around. And since you're not going to be pumping out any kids anytime soon, you can go ahead and just move out, you fat, ugly cow.
There you go again, thinking that you can give me orders while you insult me. Just what makes you think that I'm going to listen to you if you treat me like this? Do you really think that I'm just going to bend over backwards to give you whatever it is that you want? That isn't going to happen. Just because I'm not married and don't have any kids doesn't mean that I don't have a role to play in this house. I mean, you do realize that I'm the one taking care of our parents, don't you? Do you really think that you and your husband taking care of all 5 of your kids are going to be able to give mom and dad the care they need at their age? And do you really think that mom and dad are going to go along with kicking out me, their live-in nurse, just so that you can invade their home? I mean, all that is going to do is make so much more work for them. I bet you were hoping that you would get to use mom and dad as a free babysitting service, right? Well, I can tell you right now that they don't want that at all, and you're being delusional if you think that's what's going on.
Whoa, you must be really thinking that the world revolves around your lonely, childless self, don't you? How dare you think that you can tell me what I can and can't do, and how dare you try and speak for our parents too?
I'm trying to speak for anyone but myself, but the fact of the matter is that I've been living here for years and I am much more in tune with what our parents want than you are.
You're always like that. You always think that just because you're the older sister that you can boss me around as if we're kids or something like that. Do you not understand that I'm literally pregnant with my 5th child right now? I'm ready to burst any moment now, basically. How dare you try and turn away a poor mother just wanting a home for her children and family, all so that you can continue not to pay any rest at all?
I didn't ever say anything about being the older sister at all. You were the one who brought that up right now. What are you even talking about?
There you go again, making excuses and trying to take back what you said as if you didn't already say it. But let's just go over the facts of matter at hand here. I have 5 kids and you have none. I have had 3 husbands and you have had none. So basically, that makes me the better daughter of the 2 of us. And that means that you need to give up the house to me right now.
I don't even know if you're reading the messages that I'm sending you anymore, but you are clearly just deluded if you think any of what you're saying means anything. All I'm saying is that if you show up to mom and dad's place one day with all your kids and your husband in tow, that they are not going to be happy with you. Why are you so intent on being a burden to our parents when they're this old already?
You still just don't get it at all, do you? Then again, I guess a single barren shrew like you couldn't get it really.
What don't I get? What on earth could you possibly be talking about now?
The only person who's here is causing any trouble for our parents, the only person holding them back, ruining their retirement, and ruining their lives is you, Amy. You're nothing but a parasite in that house, and you're literally sucking the life out of mom and dad before their very eyes. I can see it clearly as day 2. But you're the one deluding that yourself, you're just helping them. But the truth is that you're the one that's bad here, not me. I'm just trying to do what's best for my family. Don't you get that?
You know, Joanne, I am sure that you are the only person who feels that way about me. Because I am sure that if you went and asked mom and dad, they would not call me a parasite.
Are you really sure about that? Is that the case? Or is it just that they're too sweet to hurt your feelings and too feeble to realize what is it that you're doing to them? You really think that they enjoy having their eldest daughter unmarried and childless around them all the time? You really need to grow up and face the facts.
How dare you tell me not to speak for mom and dad when you are pretending to know what they're thinking and keeping inside them? I have no idea where you are getting any of these ideas from, but I am just getting sick and tired of you treating me like this.
Well, it's only going to get worse for you because all of our bags are packed here and we are going to be headed over to the house tomorrow.
Hold on a second. You all are going to be arriving here tomorrow? But there's not even a room here ready for one guest, let alone a whole family like yours.
Well, then I guess you had better make sure that there is by the time we get there, or else things are going to get much worse for you, I can assure you that. And don't forget to pack your bags too, because we are not going to be sharing that house with someone like you. Do you understand me?
Why do you always have to talk to me like this? Why can't we ever just have a nice, polite conversation where you don't insult me with every other message that you send, huh?
I wouldn't have to insult all the time if you would just shut up and listen to me like you ought to. Anyways, I've told you our schedule. You better make sure that everything is ready for us by the time we get there, or else. Got it?
Joanne, I am trying to tell you that this is not going to work out. You and your family can't come and live here. Are you even reading any of these messages? I am telling you that you can't come and live here.
Well, you finally forced our hand, Amy. You weren't moving out even though we gave you more than enough warning. So So I took it up upon myself to gather up all your belongings around the house and get rid of them all. Now the house is finally free of your presence and we can live here comfortably.
Excuse me? You did what? Did you really gather up my things and get rid of them? Why would you do that? What is the matter with you?
I already told you why I did it. We told you to move out. You didn't listen to us. You didn't give me any other choice. Don't you realize that? Hopefully now you realize that I was being serious and you'll move out like I told you in the first place.
You do realize that you've already pushed out our own parents out of their house too, don't you? When you showed up with all your kids and your husband, you put way too much on Mom and Dad's plate all at once. You put the house into such chaos that I couldn't even do the things I normally would to take care of them.
And just whose fault is that for not thinking of a solution to that problem before we all showed up? I don't understand why you would even bother to ask for help when you know that I'm already too busy with all my kids.
Well, that's fine, but why even come here and live in the house if you aren't going to help take care of it, or Mom and Dad who were already living here, huh?
How dare you try and talk to me like that when you're nothing but a filthy little parasite? You don't get to talk to me or boss me around. If anything, you should be apologizing to me for still even being in the house. It's all your fault that things aren't going well because you didn't listen to me when I tried to warn you that we're coming. And I know that Mom and Dad are more than happy that we're all here with them right now. Are you really telling me that they would rather live with just you over being so close to all of their grandchildren? No way.
Look, I am telling you that Mom has told me that she is really upset that you all just showed up here one day and decided that you were going to be living here, okay?
And I'm telling you that I don't buy a word of that, okay? You're nothing but a parasite and I'm not going to listen or take orders from you. I mean, you aren't married and you don't have any kids, so what do you know about living together with a family, huh? Maybe you should just have learned from my example and follow my path. But you didn't. And now, look at you. You're lonely, pathetic, and worst of all, you don't have any children at all. I have 5 kids. That makes me 5 times the daughter that you are. Got it? You're just an ugly, unwanted little nobody who is never ever going to be loved by anyone. So why don't you just leave the house already? The only ones who are going to have to leave the house are you, your husband, and all your little kids too. And just how are you going to make us do that, huh? Are you really going to ruin how happy we've made by being here all because you're upset that I've taken your place in the house? You stupid little ingrate. This is your mother speaking to you right now. Wait, what? What do you mean? Mom, is that really you? Are you texting me from Amy's phone? Oh, that's right. And Amy has shown me all of the horrible messages that you've been sending her, which means that I have seen all the cruel insults that you've been hurting at her too. Did you really think that any of this was okay? You know that I can't let you get away with this, don't you? I want you and your family to pack your things and get ready to leave. I'm going to call a friend who owns a truck and he'll move you back into your house. Wait, hold on, Mom. Are you serious about this? You aren't really just going to kick us out of here, are you? I mean, we just moved in and settled down. Besides, I thought that you would have been happy to be living with your favorite daughter and near all of your grandkids too. Of course I'm serious. I mean, did you really think that you could just barge in here and suddenly announce that you're going to be living here? Don't you think that I can't even walk properly? Your sister has here been helping me around and do things around the house this whole time. But now I can hardly even hear myself think, much less move around freely with all these people in my house. Please, you've got to be kidding me, right? This is some kind of joke. You're not really Mom. It's just Amy pretending to be you, right? Why are you asking me this via text when we're all in the same house? You can come up to my room and ask me to my face if you really want to know. In fact, do that right now. I want to talk to you right this second. In the meantime, I'm going to call my friend and have him bring his truck over. Tell your husband and children that they need to pack up all their things right now. But why would you do that? Why do you need to call your friend and ask him to bring his truck over? I don't understand. I already told you why. It's so that he can take all your crap out of my house. So then you're really serious? You're going to choose Amy over your other daughter, all your grandchildren? Do you think it's easy to get 4 children to pack up all their things and move all the way over here? We just got here. I don't care if you moved in here with a whole football team. You are all doing nothing but causing chaos and making a mess of my home, and I'm furious with you. Why are you even coming back if you're not going to do anything to help me out? I was happy to be here with your dad and Amy. But I really didn't know that. I thought that Amy was just being a parasite. I thought you would have liked to be with the family. You mean you thought you could just do this without even asking me about it first? I thought it would be a nice surprise for you, is all. Besides, I never once told you that you would be allowed to live here, and had you asked, I still would have said now. Please, you can't kick us out though. We already canceled the lease on our old place, and we don't have anywhere else to go. Well, it sounds to me like that's a problem for you and your husband to figure out amongst yourselves. But I want you all out of my house, and if you don't leave, I will make you two leave. Do you understand me? Now, I'm going to put your sister back on while I call my friend. I'm serious. If you don't start backing up right now, we will just start throwing your things outside. But you can't do that to me. It isn't fair. I was just trying to think of my family. You can understand that, right?
Hello, Joanne? It's Amy again. Well, I guess this is what you get for trying to kick me out of Mom and Dad's place without even talking to them about it first.
This isn't fair. How could Mom do this to me? I can't help if that's what she wants. I don't mind helping at all.
I really don't think that Mom wants any help from you or your children or your husband at all. I mean, do you even know the first thing about nursing?
Well, I bet I could figure it out.
And you're really just taking our own mom's life into your hands like that? You really are one of the most selfish people that I have ever met. Do you know that? I wasn't just living with Mom and Dad because I didn't have anywhere else to go. I literally went to nursing school. I learned about elder care. I have skills that they need. I wasn't being a parasite either. Mom and Dad and I had a deal where I could live with them in exchange for taking care of them like I had been.
But I thought that you were just trying to kiss up to Mom and Dad so that they would give you more of their inheritance.
If you think you're getting a penny of that at all now, then you really do need to talk to Mom. She's telling me that she's going to call her lawyer next and have you taken out of her will.
What? Would she really do that? But that isn't fair.
Also, she said if you don't start packing up your things right now, that she would call the cops and force you all out.
Oh no! How did this all come to this? This isn't fair!
In the end, Joanne and her family were able to pack up their bags and get her family moved out of Mom and Dad's place. Although her husband was furious with her, and I heard that they were going to get a divorce. After hearing about that, however, I decided to block Joanne on everything and have done my best to avoid hearing about her ever since. At this point, I just hope that her kids turn out okay with such a wreck of a mother. As for my parents and I, we decided that it would be better to move somewhere new where Joanne couldn't find us, and with more amenities for my parents.
Hey, Tina, you there? I just wanted to let you know that I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. We're finally going to get to meet your parents so we can talk about the engagement in person. It really feels like this has been a long time coming.
I know. I'm really happy that we're finally getting to make this official. My parents are really excited for it too. I just really hope that you get along with my dad when you two meet each other tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. By the way, what does your dad do for a living again? And what college did he go to? I don't think my son ever told me.
Oh, and my dad didn't go to college. Actually, he dropped out of high school and only has his GED that he got later.
Wait, what? Are you serious? Your dad didn't even finish all 4 years of high school? What happened that things ended up like that?
Well, my dad comes from a really poor family, and basically he needed to work more than he needed an education at the time. I think it was because they were living with his grandma in the house, and so his family needed extra money to take care of everyone. But he worked hard and was able to leverage all of his working experience into being able to open up his own business. Honestly, I'm really grateful for all the hard work my dad has done to make his life and the lives of his family better.
Wow, I really had no idea about any of this at all. That's really crazy.
Yeah, but since both of our dads are so hardworking, I really do hope that they can get along well.
So let me get this straight. You're going to bring your uneducated dolt of a dad to my house tomorrow?
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? He's not uneducated. He's one of the best in his field.
I'm sorry, but if your dad couldn't even manage to finish high school, then I really can't see how he's anything but an idiot. I really had no idea the kind of person that your dad was, and I'm really disappointed in you. You've wasted mine and my son's time. I'm calling off this wedding. It's clear to me that you're not good enough to be with my son if this is the kind of family that you come from.
Hold on a second. You can't just decide that for yourself. That decision is between Dave and I. And just why do you care what kind of education my dad had when he clearly managed to make something of his life?
Because I can tell everything I need to know about someone from just their education. And you know, I looked into your background too. I was disappointed, but not crushed. But now that I know this about your father, I'm afraid I'll have to call it all off.
Sir, please do not talk that way about my father. I really respect him, and you're not being fair at all. I understand that you're Dave's father, but you are being horribly rude to me right now.
So what? Who cares if I'm being rude to some idiot's daughter? Why don't you open your eyes and realize where you're standing right now?
Ron, you really need to stop this right now. You are taking all of this way too far. I mean, I really don't think that my dad's education level should have anything at all to do with me marrying your son. Do you really think that you can know all that you need to just from looking at someone's schooling? I really do think you're going to want to wait until tomorrow to hear about how my dad managed to turn his life around. I'm sure that once you have the full story that you'll change your mind and see how great my dad is.
What is this, some kind of cult or something? Because I don't need to hear any kind of story to be swayed. Besides, you're not going to be coming over tomorrow, and there isn't going to be any meeting.
I'm sorry, but we've had this scheduled for a long time. Dave and I are going to be getting married, and as our parents, you all are going to meet.
Is this really the way you want to start your relationship with your future father-in-law?
Please, Ron, I would really appreciate it if you could just wait until tomorrow before jumping to conclusions about my dad. Dave, are you there? I was just talking to your dad, and for some reason he was really hung up on my dad not finishing high school.
Wait, what? Sorry, where's all this coming from all of a sudden?
Tomorrow, Dave! I'm talking about our meeting tomorrow. Your dad just reached out to me and got really mad to find out my dad didn't even finish high school. He was calling him all sorts of names and just being generally horrible.
Ugh, did he really? But I'm not surprised, but I'm so sorry that he reached out to you just to tell all that to you. Yes, unfortunately my dad is an elitist. There's really no other way to put it. Even when I was little, he was always telling me that I'd be nothing if I didn't go to the best schools. I mean, I had to get therapy after I moved out of the house to undo some of the harm that had caused me growing up. But I didn't think he'd subject other people to his purity test.
Oh, Dave, I had no idea this was such an issue with your dad. I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
I know, but that's all in the past. I just can't believe that he would say that about the father of the woman I'm going to marry.
Well, what do you think we should do about this? Do you want to cancel the meeting tomorrow? Your dad sounded like he wasn't all that interested in meeting my parents after our talk.
Well, no matter what he says, it isn't going to change the fact that we're getting married. I'm not going to let my dad's bigotry get in the way of that. I'll tell you that much. Let me talk to him and try to smooth all this out. Of course, I won't tell him what your dad actually does for a living. We can wait for tomorrow for him to find out himself.
Thanks for doing that, Dave. I know that my dad likes to tell his story himself so that it doesn't get misconstrued or anything.
Of course, I completely understand. I'll tell my dad to cool it on being so judgmental. I'm sure that he'll be really surprised when he finally meets your dad and talks to him a bit about what he does. I mean, even I was shocked after I met your dad and got to know him a bit better.
Everyone seems to react that way, but it's so weird because to me, he's just my dad. Of course, I have a lot of respect for him, but at the end of the day, he's my dad first, you know?
It makes perfect sense to me, but I really can't wait to see the look on my dad's face when he realizes who your dad really is. Maybe that'll finally knock some sense into him.
I guess we can only hope so.
I knew I was right to be suspicious, and yet you insisted on dragging your deadbeat dad to my house anyways. Well, I never ever want to see you even speak to my son again. Do you understand me?
Do you have any idea what you've done? You assaulted my dad all because I told you he didn't finish high school? You realize that you've committed a crime, don't you?
You really think that anyone is going to take the side of a loser family like yours? The wedding is off, and I want you to stay far away from my family. That's an order.
An order? Excuse me? And just who do you think you are to boss me around like that? I am not your child, nor your employee. Do you understand? You're the one who committed violence over someone's education level. If you think you're in any position to start giving orders, you are out of your mind.
Don't you dare talk back to me. You're just upset because I'm not going to let you marry into our elite family. But don't blame me. Blame your dad for never making anything of his life.
You mean even after insulting the man, you still have the gall to look down on him like that? Well, don't worry. We don't want anything to do with you ever again either. We'll call the wedding off, no problem.
Well, of course you will. I ordered you to do so. Did you really think that I was ever going to let a girl from a family like yours marry my son? But like I said, don't blame me for this. You can go and complain to your dad that it's his fault.
Oh, I've gone and talked to my dad. He told me that we'd stop doing business with you.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? What do you mean that you talked to your dad and he said that he would stop doing business with me?
Well, what other choice are you leaving him after what you did? After we got home, my dad called his HQ to see if we had any active contracts with your company, and he canceled them all. He told his secretary to tell your company to ask you why this was all happening.
What business are you even talking about? Why would your dad's crappy little shop be working for my company?
Wow. So you really still haven't figured it out then? I would have thought that you would just looking at my dad, but I guess you didn't recognize him.
What do you mean I didn't recognize him? Is he supposed to be famous or something? Why do you think I would have recognized some uneducated hick like him?
I guess I'll just have to come out and say it then. My dad is the company president of Carco.
Wait a second. Carco? You mean Carco as in the famous vehicle manufacturers? That company?
That's right. That's the one. And the president of that company is my dad. So what were you saying about how elite your family was again? How you were too good to let me marry your son? Because compared to my family, you're really nothing. I mean, you weren't even connected enough to recognize my dad when he was right at your door.
Now hold on just a second. Is this supposed to be some kind of joke or something? Even your dad didn't even finish high school. There's no way that he's president of a company like Carco.
You do realize that you're just digging yourself a deeper hole with every slight you make against him, right? Yes, my dad never graduated high school, but your mistake was in judging him for that.
Hold on. I just got a call from my company. They told us that Carco is canceling all their contracts with us. But then, that means your dad is really...
That's right, I tried to warn you, but you just wouldn't listen to me. I just wish that I could be there in person to see your face right now. I bet the shock on it is just hilarious. But I'd imagine after this, you're getting fired and blacklisted from every company in the industry. Of course, what else could you really expect after acting the way you did to him?
But if we lose those contracts, then how is my company even supposed to stay open? Please tell me that you're joking. This can't be happening right now.
If you're so surprised, I wouldn't be. This is the natural outcome for someone like you. You were the one insulting my dad, and you were the one who assaulted him, and now you're paying the price for what you've done.
So then it's really true. Everything that you've been saying to me this whole time is really true?
Man, you really aren't as smart as you brag about being. Did you know that? For the last time, yes, it's true. But don't worry about canceling the marriage. I'm fine with that. I didn't want to join your family anyways. I already told Dave that I didn't want to have you as a father-in-law.
But wait, hold on. If you're really the daughter of the company president of a Carco, then please accept my humblest apologies. Of course you can marry my son, and I'm sorry that I ever gave you any doubt to the contrary.
Wow, you really turned around quickly, didn't you? But I'm afraid that's not going to work on me. I don't want anything to do with you or your family ever again. I talked to Dave and he said he was fine calling off the wedding as well.
Please wait. Don't say that. I know I said I didn't want you two to get married, but that's not my choice to make. That should be between you and my son.
I know, and I talked to your son and we said that we were calling off the engagement.
But I don't understand. Why would you do that?
Well, because I told him that if we got married, I wouldn't want to have any contact with you ever again.
Wait, so then, if you two got married, then Dave would never ever talk to me again? What did he say to that?
Well, I told him that, and he said he'd have to think about it, and I told him that I'd respect his decision. So the wedding is off.
But wait, please. Can't you just let me try and talk to your parents and smooth all this over? I'm sure that I could if you just give me a chance.
That is not going to happen. You do realize that you assaulted my dad, right? What makes you think that I'm going to arrange for a meeting for you after you've done that?
Please. I really had no idea at all who your dad was, and that was a huge mistake on my part. I realize that now. I had no idea that things were going to turn out this way.
Well, I don't see why you think that's our problem. You did this, now accept responsibility like an adult, including for the assault.
So what? You're really going to charge me for what I did? Please. I didn't think that I committed a crime or anything like that. It was just a little fight within the family, that's all.
Fight within the family? How could that be when I'm not married to your son yet? And did you really think you could get away with punching someone in the face just because they didn't finish high school?
But I mean, assault sounds so bad. I really didn't think that it would end up this way.
Just because you've finally realized that you've actually done something wrong doesn't mean that anything is going to change. Besides, we've already decided that we're going to file a police report.
No, please don't do that. Why would you go to the police about this?
Because you punched my dad. Are you really not following this at all?
But if the police show up for what I did, then they might arrest me. I'll be in serious trouble if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the whole point of calling the police on someone. You're a criminal, and you should be punished.
Tina, please, don't do this to me. I know you might not like me, but I'm still your fiancé's father. Is this any way to be treating your elders?
Excuse me? Wow, that is really rich. But I have every right to do this because you broke the law.
I knew I shouldn't have tried to talk about this with a woman. Could you please just let me talk to your dad? This is something that should be settled between us men. We know what we're doing.
Wow, did you really think that was going to work? Did you think that jumping from elitism to sexism was going to make me want to help you?
Just tell me where your dad is. I just want to apologize to him. Isn't that what you think I should do?
I'm not going to tell you where my dad is, and frankly, I think you should just wait for the police to show up.
Please, just tell me where your dad is. This should just be between him and I.
And why would I let a criminal that assaulted my dad anywhere near him? That would just be irresponsible.
Please, stop calling me a criminal. I didn't even do anything wrong. You shouldn't be talking to me that way.
You're right. You're not a criminal yet. You have to be arrested and processed first. But then, after that, you're nothing but a criminal, and you'll have a record that will follow you forever. You'll never be able to escape it. You used to pride yourself on judging others for their education all this time. You thought you could tell all that you needed to about someone just from what schools they went to. Well, now you'll have a very different kind of record. Though, I'm not sure you'll want to brag about it.
Please don't do this to me. You're going to ruin me. Don't you get it? What am I supposed to do? Please don't punish me for this. I didn't know.
After that, Dave reached out to me and told me about how the police arrived to arrest his dad. He told me about how his dad begged not to be taken away, but seeing as how my dad's company contributes a lot to the annual policeman's ball, the cops were all too happy to take Ron away. I know that I told Ron the wedding was off, but that was just to add a little bit more pressure to him and make him sweat. After his dad was taken away, Dave said that he talked to his mom, who was going to be getting a divorce from Ron, and that they were both going to cut Ron off and never talk to him again. While he was in jail awaiting trial, Ron got a call from his company saying that he was fired for his misconduct and for damaging the business. After his firing, my dad renegotiated the canceled contract so Ron's company wouldn't pay for his stupidity. Ron tried to reach out to Dave and ask for his help in setting everything right, but by then, the both of us had already blocked his number. I have no idea what Ron is up to now, but the wedding for Dave and I is still on schedule. The night that we were supposed to have our family meeting, Dave came to my house and apologized profusely to my dad. My dad laughed it off and said that he didn't blame Dave and that he still wanted us to get married. We both know that we've been through a lot, but we're still very much looking forward to the day when we can call each other husband and wife.